What up, folks? And welcome to another episode of Healthy Living in Wine. Listen, I'm your host, JQue. Healthy Living in Wine exists to explore what it looks like to live well with intention. We hold space here for conversations around wellness, lifestyle, mindset, balance, while honoring the reality that wine can coexist beautifully when it's rooted in moderation, presence, and choice. Now, today's conversation is titled Softness is Not the Absence of Strength. Well, this episode invites us to sit with different perspectives on strength. Not the kind that performs or proves or powers through, but the kind that becomes quieter with time. The kind that no longer needs to announce itself. We're exploring what strength costs when it's always assumed. You know, what is lost when our capabilities, the things that we are capable of, become somebody else's expectation. And what shifts when the strength no longer needs to be seen. I know, right? This is not a conversation about becoming soft, okay? But this is going to be a conversation about becoming more honest about your strength. So, before we continue, though, I do want to take a moment to acknowledge and thank our partners and our supporters, Cote de Femme, Black Umbrella Studio, and Paradox East Media. These people and these partners help make healthy living and wine possible. Your continued support allows us to create thoughtful conversations, shared experiences that are rooted in balance, nutrition, connection, and community. Before we go any further, though, I want to take this moment for us to get comfortable. So, audience, go ahead, grab your glass, pour up some wine. We've got our wines all poured up, whatever you're sipping on today, and make yourself at home. I want you to settle into this conversation. And as you do, I want you to sit with this one question in your mind throughout this episode. All right. Where in your life has strength been expected of you without being asked? And feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, or continue the conversation with us afterwards the episode. Listen, I love hearing your reflections, and it's definitely what keeps the conversation flowing. Okay, so now that we've taken care of some of the housekeeping rules, let's dive straight on in. Listen, I'm with a special guest tonight, Alaina Douglas. Listen, titles, they only tell a part of the story. So let's move into today's conversation by welcoming Alaina to the stage, to the show. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
She and I go way back. Way back. And so it has been such a pleasure to watch you grow and to even have you on the show today, right?
Thank you.
So because we don't talk about titles or resume, let's start this conversation by, asking you a question.
Okay.
And the question is, when you think about being strong, or when you think about the conversation of being strong, many people think that strength is something that they choose. They think that it's something that grows or its life requires it. And sometimes I know our circumstances demand us to be strong. I know that you've gone through, especially in the last few years, a couple of things that required you to definitely be strong, especially because it was out of your control. Mm-hmm. It had to do with other people depending on that. Over time, we often get labeled as the strong ones based on our reactions or our responses, and then it becomes our identity. When did you first realize that strength had become something people expected of you?
Wow, that's amazing. There's been a few different parts of my life that I feel like have set that standard of strength for me. One was becoming a mother, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's something that's just like a natural instinct. And it's not necessarily just strength, but it's protection. It's a different type or a different part of strength. Because I feel like protection and strength go hand in hand.
Yeah.
But also my dad passing. So, it's a life entering this world and a life leaving this world. And I just remember praying to God, for inner peace and a peace that surpasses all understanding. And that was my strength. That peace
Yeah.
has what became my
Ooh.
strength. And I think that's really it. Like, and it's funny because
Wow.
it reflects a lot in my life, throughout my life.
When you were going through all that, and when, again, in those times in those areas of your life when the strength part became an expectation even from other people. Oh, Alaina's strong, she can handle it. Oh my God. You know what? She's good. We've seen her go through some things and she didn't even flinch. You know what I'm saying? It became the expectation of what other people did. When that settled in for you, how did it begin to shape the way you showed up for others?
I'm gonna always show up for others. That's
Exactly.
not something that it's not performative. It's not transactional. It's something that is just a part of me and who I am. No matter if like they don't pour into me, and that can be a flaw to an extent, I'm
To an
sure.
extent.
But at the same time, I just feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I never feel depleted from it
Okay.
because I pull from God. I pull from the source, so it's not me that's doing it. It's God making way and creating that space for others through me.
Understand.
And so that's why I'm able to not expect anything from other people. I've let go of expectations of like how other people show up. So like, oh, this is how I'm gonna show up. But it's not like that. This is I don't match the energy. I come overflowing.
Have you ever felt the weight of being the one who is always showing up though?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
You get, then it's kind of like, because I'm in the same situation. People always think that, I'm the strong one and this happens. So then it becomes the fact that the weight of me always being the dependable one, me always being the one that's going to show up for people, I think at some point, the weight of that being dependable, the strength was like barely being acknowledged. Then it was like everyone else was expecting me to be that all the time.
Right.
I'm like, oh my God. So when we connect to something like that, we have to examine ourselves, right? I know yeah. I mean, because slowly it can turn into an obligation versus something that we're choosing to do. More like you said, now it becomes a performance because, okay, I know my mom needs me to be this, or my dad needs me to be that, or you know what? My friends are always thinking I'm going to be the one that's going to be hyped.
So let me be hyped.
Yeah, let me go ahead and do the hype thing, because if I don't, then they're going to ask me questions or, it's going to be this, that, and the other. And so when I was doing my studies and, researching the topic, one of the things I recognized was in the Journal of Personality was that people are labeled as strong. They're often internalized belief that people who need help depend on them, and then it becomes their personal failure when they can't help them, or when they're in a situation where, you know what, I'm really not that strong. I can't perform
exactly
as the strong person.
Right.
When you were going through those times in your life, were you faced with situations where you still had to put on or be that strong person, or not because someone else was expecting it from you, but because you had that expectation of yourself?
Definitely.
Yeah.
For sure. I think that, but I'm also I'm a person that's really tapped into my feelings. And so like I self-reflect a lot, and I feel what I need to feel. So it was never a problem for me to like feel what I need to feel and then feel like I'm performing. I never felt like, because I was already honoring that.
Ooh.
It was never like, oh, I'm not gonna like feel what I need to feel and perform for people. It's like, no, I'm gonna honor how I'm feeling. And after I honor how I'm feeling, I'm gonna carry on who I am, who I know I am. Because it's not a performative thing too. That's another thing. It's like a lot of times sometimes I tell people, it's like you try to make sure that people know. You try so hard to be authentic. You just want to be as genuine as possible, that sometimes it come off as fake.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, this is really
who I am. When I'm behind closed doors, when I'm naked.
Yeah, like whoever. And it's like, of course I have my like darker sides.
Of
And
course.
like, there's dark and there's light. But But that light part of me is just like, no, this is really who I am. This is what I enjoy. I like to give this. I like to speak, just like how some people like to be negative, I like to be positive.
Yeah.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so, like, I've always been able to find the silver lining. And that's, like, with losing my dad, that's who he was. Like, he was someone that was such a light. And he found the joy in everything.
In everything.
He was so funny and stuff. So I was like, I'm like him in that way. It's like his spirit literally just jumped into mine.
Yeah.
And so I absorbed that part of him. So, like, when it comes to just feeling what I need to feel, releasing that, and then I go on about my day. It's never performative. It's never a transaction. It's never like, well, what can I get? Because God's already going to bless
Girl, ain't
He's already a good God. So it's never going to be like, oh, you're getting this because it's like, nah. I choose to be good because I want to be good.
Has there ever been a part or a time in your life where the strength that you had was more like a survival for you than it was an identity? Tell us about a time where literally that strength became, something you had to use literally to survive versus what people expected you to be.
Definitely motherhood. 100%. That those first few years is definitely like survival mode. I look back at pictures and even like, I guess like in this present time in motherhood, she's older now, we're communicating more. There's things that, to try to protect her from, especially with this world. And it just makes you like set so many different type of boundaries and everything. But motherhood definitely made me, as far as like my strength.
Okay.
I'm very. Repeat the question.
Were there ever times in your strength where they were survival mode for you versus what, the capability or the ability for you to be an identity, where you literally had to use that strength just to survive?
100% motherhood.
Yeah.
100% motherhood. And I say that because it's like, there's someone outside of you that needs you.
Yeah.
And no matter how you feel, no matter how tired you are going to have to answer to that entity outside of you. And that's your little person. That's literally your heartbeat outside of you. And I know not everybody feels like that, or not everybody gets that opportunity to have that feeling. But like, for me, like, my child, it's just like, and it's crazy because I co-parent too. So that's like, that brings in a whole other aspect of
strength,
it.
Especially like, when you got to be strong
with
your baby daddy.
Man,
baby.
Cool.
That baby daddy strength is like.
But yeah.
What?
As far as like taking care of my child, like, it's just like, when she's not with me,
you have to practice strength.
That's really when it happened. It wasn't like, the newborn, like, that was pop her on titty, ain't nothing. Like, like, get her to sleep. Even though I was sleep deprived, like I said,
you went
like,
through all the motherhood stuff.
Get your rest,
On facts.
Knew, like, please get your rest because, like, that's dangerous.
Yep.
But as far as like transitioning into co-parenting and being away from my child, that
is the situation.
That was the strength. That was like another level because it's like I had to literally not necessarily. I detached myself in a healthy way, and it was a detachment that was like trusting and knowing and surrendering to what is. Like, this is my reality. So I can't even how am I gonna fight that?
Yep.
I have to be strong.
Yep. I mean, that's honest realization. That is honest
self-reflection, realization,
all
awareness.
Of that. And strength can sometimes even be invisible because it looks like being independent, or it looks like stepping into a role, or even it looks like this. A lot of times, I know I had the same experience being a mother. I wasn't prepared. I really didn't want kids. Me being a mother came out of the situation trying to honor someone else, do and be for someone else, my baby daddy and, this, that, and the other and all of that. And so then when motherhood actually hit me, it was like, oh my God, I have another human I have to be responsible for. And although it happened late for me, it wasn't when she popped out the womb that I instantly, started becoming this great mother. It was probably when my daughter started turning 6 and 7 that I realized, oh my God, I got to be a mom. I think I better be a mom. You know what I'm saying? I cannot be her friend or her auntie.
Yeah, no, you gotta be her
can't send all the money.
Mother.
I need to be her mom. And so strength for me in motherhood came from an honest realization that in real time, for the rest of my life, I am not going to be an independent. I got something else that I have to use my strength for, even if, again, it changes.
Tired, sad, angry.
Correct. It changes what it looks like. Looking back, especially when you think about one of your motherhood as being something, that did give you strength. What did you do to quietly take care of that strength so that it didn't break you down, or, those parts or those times where you were broken down? How did you find the inner strength to get yourself out?
Definitely spending time with my inner child.
Childlike.
Like it's basically you're literally mothering yourself. You're like, because we're all little kids in grown bodies. There's a whole bunch of little broken kids or healed kids, whatever, place you are in your life. But I nurture little Alaina.
Little Alaina.
And whether
I love
that's
that.
through like painting, through reading, through writing, through walking, and just spending time in nature. Like, I really, really love nature. And that's something else, like, just really being present. Like, this is all we have. This is all we have right now, like in this space right now. And so, like, especially when I'm in nature, like, even if it's like just driving around on the interstate, like, I'm going to look up at the sky. I'm going to find something in nature to appreciate. So that's grounding in God, pretty much.
Yeah, grounding in God. I love that.
That's what it is, like, for me, like keeping
God first.
Like praying.
Yep. All those habits, all those things that
the
help us connect to our spirituality.
Yes.
I think that strength becomes a default for people sometimes. I know that I have friends that often forget to check on me, or to, they don't necessarily support me the way they do others. And I think that's because strength is my default.
Yeah.
They stop asking, hey, what does it cost to keep showing up in that way? Or, hey, JQue, how can I support you? Because they automatically feel that because I'm strong means I'm capable and that I don't need the support. Have there ever been times like that for you when your stronghold got you stronger than what you really need?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And it's often. Actually.
Yeah, mine too.
It's very often, like, people, they have these assumptions about us because of what they see on the outside, and it's wildly, like, different.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally the opposite.
Yeah.
Like, you think that I have so much, and I'm not gonna say, like, don't get me wrong, the people in the support system that I do have, I have a beautiful support system. I have a very genuine, like, deeply rooted, and like, it's never like, it's not just from one
to the other.
Like, it's literally
the hierarchy of support.
It's a hierarchy of support,
like a guard and stuff.
But what people assume, it is like, it's nothing like that. Like, I have my close few. You have no idea, like, what really anchors me, like, where my roots really are.
Yeah.
So, most definitely the support, and especially when you like you said, like, you pour into things, or you pour into people, and I would say, like, oh, that's exhausting, but it's not. Because it's like I said, I want to.
Yeah, you want to.
It's not something that's like, oh, I'm doing this because I have to, or I do this because I want you to do this to me. No, like, I'm doing this because I want to. And I see something in you that you may not see in yourself, or that someone else is not saying, but I know that it's nice to hear.
Yeah, see? And so that's the part. That is the part, I want to stay right there for a minute, because I think people often assume that being capable is often too praised. I think when we see competence, reliability, strength, leadership, all of those are capabilities. They also carry an unspoken consequence. And that consequence is that people believe we can handle everything. You know, they believe that they don't have to ask us how we're doing because they're like, oh, JQue got it. She's strong. You know, she never goes through anything. You know, and if she does, she got it going on. You know, she's so strong. She can get through anything. You know,
Right.
when I was doing the research for this, you know, the personality science says that highly capable individuals are perceived as needing less emotional support,
No.
which is unintentional because of the social and the emotional neglect over time. We do tend to, you know, soothe ourselves because we have that strong possibility. But that doesn't mean just because we are capable that we don't need support or that we don't, you know, have to have access to certain things along the way. When you think about being capable, have you ever felt that you've lost access to things along the way because of the emotional strain or maybe even relationally with people because they think that you don't need them?
As far as like, you mean like,
In anything. Like I've been in a work relationship where people never said anything to me about my job performance because they just felt I was so capable of doing it. They felt like, well, JQue can just do it.
right?
Versus someone else, I see them in the office getting a whole itinerary, a breakdown from the boss, you know, full explanation. But those things I didn't necessarily receive because my boss already assumed
that you
that
already.
because I was very capable of doing it that I didn't need the support.
Yeah, I definitely think that emotionally a lot. It's more so emotionally.
For me, it's more emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like people. You don't. I don't. And it always goes back to self-reflection.
Yep.
So it's just like, and that's why it's like hard for me because it's like I can't expect it. And I guess because of that,
Yep.
of growing into like constantly facing that,
Yep.
it makes you like become to a point where it's like, oh well, I'm not even
bothered.
worried about. I'm not bothered about it.
It becomes a barrier.
Yeah, like, and it's just like, you know, I just set boundaries now more so with people, instead of like allowing them to just like come and grab. It's like, I'm gonna pour into you,
Yeah.
but you're not getting all of it. You know, I got some snacks.
Setting
You
those
ain't
boundaries, you know?
anything, you know. But yeah, setting those boundaries. I mean, I think I answered. I don't know if I answered that question.
You did.
correctly.
You did. I mean, in essence, when you set those boundaries or you begin to say these things, do you find that people often think, "Oh, you getting soft"?
Oh, I mean,
I have heard that.
They always say, Alaina, you give a lot of grace. Like I give too much grace, and
Okay.
I'm like, well, I mean, that's what I had. I mean, I don't see like I don't ever see that it's taking.
Okay. So you feel like you're often giving it. It's not somebody taking or, you know, taking advantage of that in that moment for you is what you're saying.
Well, I guess like I give.
Correct. You're
lot of
always
grace.
giving though. Have you not ever been in that place where, you know what? I am tired of being the one that has to
100%.
always be, and it's not because people are doing it. It's literally the capability and the expectation because that's what we've displayed so much that it's the normal thing for when somebody sees something over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It's just like commercials. That's how marketing works.
Right.
When I see McDonald's over and over and over again, I have an expectation that when I drive up to there, the fries are going to have this special taste. And when it doesn't, I'm thrown off.
Right.
I'm like, I want to go back to the drive-thru. I want some fresh fries. What happened with y'all? My whole mood changes because of what my expectation was based on what I perceived about McDonald's.
Right.
You know, and so I feel like a lot of people who carry that strong gene, that strongness, you know, when we are in a soft facade, it gets mistaken a lot of times. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like, oh my God, wait a minute. And then our capability, often it earns us trust, but it never gives us the opportunity to receive tenderness from people.
Right. The nurturing.
Yeah,
that
the
we
nurturing.
get.
Like, we don't need it. It's not like, and I'm talking past hugs.
Right,
I have
100%.
more friends that I call on a regular basis to see how they're doing. And listen, this in by no way is a call for help or anything like that. This is just a realization that when that perception of you being strong is, I could open my phone for 3 weeks while I had pneumonia. And there were 2 people that checked on me that even knew that I had pneumonia, because it wasn't a thought for them to think that they hadn't heard from me or seen me in 3 weeks, because, nothing could be going on. She's probably just doing this and doing that.
100%. And a lot of times people definitely say like, oh, I always assume that you're busy.
Yep.
I'm like,
you're always
I'm
assuming.
literally not busy.
I'm just
like
chilling.
That.
You feel me?
Like,
people don't ask me to do things because they always
I just assume.
Oh, I thought you were just so busy, And
then like also like I've just realized, and not just realized, but like I've stopped reaching out.
Yeah. And that definitely turns the table. It like, really has,
totally different. Like relationships, like what relationships? Like what connections? And it's not I'm not going to like say it's a bad thing. Like, I know people go through things.
Detoxing is great.
I'm very big about like, especially even if I'm talking to, a man and he's like letting me know like, hey, this is why it took so long. Hey, do not tell me why it took so long.
Yeah.
I don't care, because when it's my turn,
I need it to be my turn.
To rush to text,
Yep.
I don't think that people should feel so like, rush to text back or whatever to communicate. Like, I give a lot of grace that if my friend doesn't answer the phone, hey, they're going to call back.
Yeah. Do you think
they're ready?
Do you think that's because you are so strong, or is it that thing that you have intentionally made room for that in your life?
I intentionally, like, because I just know that people are going through things. Like the entitlement that people have for other people's lives is insane. So like to me, and that's what like I feel like society and social media definitely like, plays a big part in that. But it's just like we have to give grace when it comes to communication, especially being a mother. Like, sometimes you're just not mentally at a space to respond.
To receive.
That is okay. To respond, to receive.
Anything.
And like just, it's okay to just be.
Yeah.
Like,
it is okay to just be. A report from the Harvard study showed that adult development, it highlights that emotional support and feeling cared for, even amongst strong people, are predecessors that you will have long-term well-being, regardless of your success and your competence. When you make room and you're able to have grace for what people may be going through, whether they're being seen as strong or capable, or they're doing things that are habits that they normally do. When you offer that emotional support to people, it helps to create long-term well-being, as well as, all of the things that we feel like we're so overwhelmed or so overloaded with. It helps to relieve that external stress sometimes. Right. Just being able to remove the cape of strength and expectation of having to be strong or be capable when we're actually going through something ourselves.
Right.
When you think about yourself, being strong, what is the soft season for you look like? Is it something that you feel like is an aspect of your life, or it is something that you have to literally say, you know what? I'm taking a weekend off. I'm tired of being things for everybody and everybody else. I need something for myself.
It's definitely intertwined. My strength and my softness is intertwined.
Yeah.
Like, and I love that. Like, it's not something that, it's a season. It's not a season.
Yeah.
It's not I
that
made
soft
it a
girl
part of my
error.
Life. No, it's not an error.
Like
it's my
me,
life.
it's my life.
This is my life. Okay. This is my only life. So I'm going to live this because, and then me being woman.
Yeah.
Like, and then not like to say like, man, get your soft man era on.
I know, right?
Y'all get y'all soft man era on.
Did you?
Whatever you feel,
whatever you're feeling in the moment, I think that's what it has to be. Have you ever been in any moments where you wanted to care about something, or you wanted people to care something about what you were going through in that moment, but you didn't even have the strength to ask?
Like ask for people to be there for you.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Most definitely throughout life, throughout like motherhood, throughout grieving, you have moments where you want that, you crave that. Because it's like I asked my therapist, I was like, why do I want like, love? It's just like connection is, a basic human need.
It is. I mean, God made us that
And
way. Otherwise,
and
he would have just left
literally,
Adam, right? And why do
exactly.
animals have two? It's always
Another.
another
There's
of that one.
another.
Yeah.
But in those silent seasons or in those seasons of solitude, I just go to God. Like I cannot stress that enough. Like going to God and to self, like spending that time with self and with God, like just it fills my cup up to where it's like I don't feel the absence of it.
Oh, that's good. Tell us about a specific time in your life when you recognized that your strength was no longer needed in that situation in order to make you feel valid about yourself.
I know I keep saying this, but motherhood.
Yeah, but like one particular time.
One particular time
like
that when I
yeah.
mean honestly, this is getting a little more personal. But deciding that I'm going to do this on my own. And not like, I'm not totally on my own. I don't like to say like I'm a single mother because like I co-parent.
Understand.
It's 50-50. But
it's not the same household. You
it's
have your
not making,
own
like
household.
really having to live with what other people, how the society is going to view you, how your family, how their family is going to view you, how your child, like separating yourself in order to make a better future for everyone, even if it hurts at the time, even if it's going to take some sacrifices, is like,
wow.
That was a point in time where like my strength was like
baby
really, tested. But I needed that in order for me to evolve into the woman I am.
Yeah, that's a different
now.
kind of freedom too.
It is. And I am so thankful. It was a beautiful season that I was in when we created her, when we were together, we created everything, but like that separation was what I needed for my own strength.
Yeah, it was no longer finding balance with someone else, but it was now developing you, growing your strength, all the things that you needed to do.
Within.
Yeah, and finding
myself.
all of that stuff within. Individuals who detach their identity from other individuals, they outperform, they out-experience, and they have more emotional stability. Now, the Stanford University did a test and found that individuals who literally detach their identity from performance and capabilities have higher emotional stability, lower burnout time, and have higher life successes because now their capabilities, their identity is not linked to a person or a performance. It's linked to the authenticity of themselves. Yeah, which helps you really emotionally become stable.
Right.
Because when things hit you, now it's not based on who they are or your strength in this or your strength in that. Now it's based on you understanding your capabilities of the strength that you have within
yourself. And I totally agree with that because I definitely feel like you just being authentic and being true to who you are, 100% being who you were designed to be, will always be your greatest power. Like we see these things growing up. We see these different quotes and stuff growing up and phrases like, being who you are and, staying true to who you are will get you further in life. But it truly does.
Yeah, it truly does.
There's no one like you.
That also speaks to alignment. When we're aligned, 100%. We're confident in our power, our capabilities, then I feel like that's softness in power in itself.
Right.
Because then I'm okay.
Right.
I'm okay with whatever I'm feeling. And then I'm not worried about people's expectations. So then
Right.
when I don't feel like being strong or when I am, on a soft side of the situation, then I'm confident and I don't have to feel like I have to perform. I
Right.
got to show up, Becky's having a situation. I got to go over there and be there for her, or this, that, and other. And even if I don't want to, I don't feel bad about it.
Right. You don't feel bad. You have to set those boundaries.
Yeah, you definitely got to set those boundaries. As we sit with everything that we've explored today, what really stands out to me is that your strength kind of evolves, over time, over situations, over what you learn about yourself. And when you no longer are tied to the other people's expectations or your abilities and capabilities or even your performance, life is just better. I mean, your strength actually becomes quieter.
Right.
Because you don't have to display it. You don't have to put it on all the time. And then it becomes more intentional. Like you said, with your motherhood, we were talking about once we started learning more about ourselves and honoring our capabilities and our strengths, it was easier for us to step out, to go further, to grow deeper, to not have an emotional breakdown, if we weren't being strong, if we decided to do some quote unquote trending, untrending, soft girl stuff,
Right.
there are no expectations for us to show up and be strong.
Put that armor on.
Put that armor on. Today's conversation reminded us that strength does not always look like endurance. Sometimes it looks like discernment. Sometimes it looks like restraint. And sometimes it looks like choosing not to carry what was never meant to be yours. Being the strong one, being capable, being dependable. All those roles can serve us for a season, but they should never cost your humanity. They should never cost your softness or your ability to receive care and concern. I think that true strength does not have to be announced. I also feel like it doesn't need an applause or it doesn't need to always be a performance. It just needs to be rooted, solid inside of us. And then it's not a strong or a power. It's just authentically being who you are.
Amen.
Yeah, amen. Well, go shoot. It's a wrap, folks. You hear me? Thank you for tuning in. To everyone that's listening and watching, thank you for spending time with us today. Thank you for being a part of the conversation. Alaina, thank you so much for joining me today, sharing your presence, your perspective in this conversation. Now, please share with the audience how they can connect with you and any last words you'd like to share with them.
Yes. You guys can connect with me at Alaina Sharif, ALAINACHARIF, as in Frank, Alaina Sharif. And yes, just continue to be in your strength and your softness simultaneously. Allow yourself to just flow into who you are and who you're destined to be.
I love that. To everyone that's listening and watching, listen, thank you so much for spending this time with us today and being a part of the Healthy Living and Wine community. Be sure to stay connected with Healthy Living and Wine for upcoming conversations, experiences, and moments that continue to center balance, intention, and community. And listen, if today's episode resonated with you, I'd like to invite you to like, share, and comment. Your reflections help to keep the conversation moving forward. Be encouraged that healthy living and wine can coexist beautifully when balance, intention, and moderation are a part of the pour. Let's close this thing out, baby.
Toast.
Yes. So here's to moving with intention, honoring your strength, and allowing softness to exist right alongside it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening, guys.